What is the true reality for DoorDash and Uber Eats drivers under the new Labor Department rule? Are we employees or are we independent contractors? Which one is it? Well, isn't that the question of the day? But we are going to cover this and more right now. A lot of drivers are in an uproar and a panic because life as we know it can completely change over this new ruling from the government for independent contractors. But I need you to calm down, take a breath, because there is a lot of complexity behind this. So let's break it down just a little bit. Under this new rule, we are going to use the word could a lot. You could be an employee of DoorDash and Uber Eats. You could make $1 per hour. You could have to schedule. You could lose flexibility. Could. This is where the uncertainty comes in. Before we truly get into this, the way we perceive things is completely different. On this channel, I do not talk about politics whatsoever. I try to give you news, information for entertainment purposes. I really encourage you guys to do your own research, look at different news articles, and form your own opinions. Speaking of opinions, be honest with me. What was your first initial reaction to this? Scared, apprehensive, angry, or nah, I just don't care until it actually happens in my area? Leave it in the comments which one you were when you actually heard this news article break. While you're down there, if you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel. According to what I read, for now, the employers determine the criteria, such as how much control an employer has over the worker, whether the work requires special skills, the degree of permanence of the relationship between worker and employer, and the investment a worker makes. That's the criteria that they are looking for, which, in my personal opinion, this will not affect any driver right now. That's the key word. It's supposed to go into effect March 11th. Nothing ever happens overnight when it comes to these things, if any at all. So that's where I need everyone to take a huge breath. But I think everyone, in my opinion, needs to pay attention to your own state rulings on independent contractors, because I think that's where majority of the legislation will come from with the labor's new rule. I think we are going to see a lot of new states coming up with new legislation soon and forcing companies like DoorDash and Uber Eats and other apps to comply with it, including hourly wages, unfortunately. So I guess stay tuned for your own individual state. My personal opinion though, and this is completely an opinion, and I have nothing to base this on because I am not part of the administration myself, but I truly believe the administration just wants a piece of the tax money. I think that's really honestly what it comes down to. Many of these decisions are made off of dollars and cents and what's in it to gain for them that would mean dollars and cents, because that's usually what it all comes down to, right? How much money goes into their own individual pockets, including the government. I personally am not a fan of this whatsoever. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a horrible idea. However, there are drivers who do agree with this, which just makes me cringe. A little. No, a lot. It makes me cringe. But you know what? To each their own opinion. Being independent is the most important thing of of why I do the gig economy. It's what really works for me and also my family. I think the biggest thing is, how do you prepare life as a gig worker if this really does take effect? Well, just like every other job, you always have to have a backup plan. You have two choices, really. You can stay in the gig economy, or you can get out of the gig economy regardless. If this does take effect, you will be an employee no matter what, whether you are in the gig economy or you work for another employer. So employee versus employee at that point. For me personally, I'm going to be okay. I always have a plan for my future, but do you yourself have a backup plan? That's honestly what I'm worried about. I want everybody to have a backup plan so you know exactly what you're doing for your own future. So here's another question for you. If this goes into effect, will you continue to work in the gig economy such as DoorDash and Uber Eats or even other apps? Or will you try to seek other employment out there? For me, it's about, like I said, it's all about flexibility. For you, it might be something completely different. Bottom line, there is just a lot of uncertainty, which people just don't like, including myself. No one likes to not know what's going on or what their future kind of holds. But for me right now, everything is business as normal. I make money as normal. I go out and hustle as normal until something changes on DoorDash and Uber Eats or any of my other apps. But I always prepare for the future, and hopefully you will too. And if you don't have a preparation, you know what? Hopefully this video might just help you start preparing. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe before you leave here today. And the biggest way to help out my channel is to give this one a thumbs up. If you're looking for more DoorDash content, don't forget to check this video out right here. If you're driving, please stay safe. Remember, kindness is always free. See you in the next video. Peace.